Many shades of pink and black health. Many shades of pink and black health, where good health equals long life. Welcome to the Many Shades of Pink and Black Health radio program on KBOKradio.com. I'm your sponsor, Many Shades of Pink, and I made a mistake. It's sponsored by Many Shades of Pink, and I'm your host, Wendy Sherrill, breast cancer survivor and advocate.
And I'm your co-host, Dr. Susanna Flalo. And today we have a special guest, Ms. Jaime Z. Harris, a philanthropic realtor. And the topic today is how giving can turn into blessings. So welcome, Ms. Jaime.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. So we're going to just go ahead and dive on in, sis. And Jaime, can you just tell us about yourself and your family?
Sure. So as they mentioned, my name is Jaime Z. Harris, and I'm a philanthropic realtor here in San Diego. I've been here for about 15 years, and San Diego definitely is home. I have a phenomenal, amazing, loving 11-year-old son. His name is Clifton. Hi, CJ, if you're listening. I call him CJ, and we love being in San Diego.
Oh, where are you from originally, though?
I'm originally from Jamaica, just like you.
There you go. Shout out to all the Jamaicans in San Diego.
And hence why I say I've been here for 15 years, but now San Diego is home. And so I sell San Diego as home as well.
But my question is, do you still have family in Jamaica?
Yes. Besides my son being here, probably, let's say, 95% of my family still lives in Jamaica.
Okay.
Do you have family here in San Diego?
Besides my son, no.
No? So it's just you and your son?
Yes, but I have a great group of friends that have become family.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I totally understand, because you know, blood doesn't mean you family. You know, I have family just like my sis here. She's my sis, and she has become my family because I don't really have any family here either. So
yeah.
I'm curious, what parish are you from?
I'm from Mandeville.
Okay.
How about you?
St. Andrews.
Oh, okay. So like an hour.
In Kingston. Yeah, like an hour and a half. Or
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So good.
So you're near Kingston, and you're near what?
I'm in Kingston.
She's in
You're
Kingston.
in Kingston, and you're.
I'm like an hour and a half. I'm central Jamaica.
Oh, you're central. Okay.
It's green and plush and beautiful there.
Yeah.
In Mandeville. Yeah.
So, question. When did you become a realtor, and what made you want to become a realtor and go into real estate?
So I've been in real estate for 4 great years. So I decided 4 years ago to do real estate. Before that, I did pharmaceutical consulting, and it was great. It was a great stepping stool, always customer facing, and I just realized that I wanted to have more control over my life and my income. I wanted something that gave me more purpose.
Okay, so basically, people buying a home for the first time, basically, giving them their dream home, that made your heart smile, or, just gave you what? You could tell us.
Yeah, so my very first client, which was technically before I was officially a realtor, I was helping another realtor. It took her a while to find a house, and she went from realtor to realtor, and I helped her, and just seeing how appreciative she was, the fact that she was building wealth, and she trusted me with the transaction. On closing, I gave her the keys, and she started crying.
Oh, really?
She started crying, and I'm a crier, so I cried. It meant so much to me, and I saw how it transformed lives. And so everything about what I do in life is very purposeful. So I have a purpose-driven life, and I have a purpose-driven business.
That's fabulous. And it just gives people an opportunity. So I was curious why you got into real estate, but now I understand you were helping someone else, and that's really what sparked your interest in that.
Right. I could see firsthand how it really helped her. Plus, long term, just building that wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And know that I'm a part of that chapter because it's usually a big part of someone's chapter,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And then now incorporating philanthropy into that makes a whole. It transforms everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you might want to. I don't know if this is before you the question you were going to ask, but I'm curious. You touched on philanthropic, ideas and what your purpose is. Explain that in terms of why did you incorporate philanthropic activities in your business?
And also explain what that is to our audience.
Okay. Okay.
Just in
Makes
case
sense.
they don't know
Mhm,
what it is.
mhm.
Okay, so philanthropy is the act of giving back, and it could be in terms of time, money, or kind. And so it's not all about just giving money, it's really making an impact on someone's
Mhm.
life. And so for me, the reason I started doing this is because of my dad. He came from nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and in everything that he did, he always gave back.
Mm-hmm.
And he was known as a very philanthropic person, and he always encouraged me to do the same thing. And he always said, you can never ever become poor by giving.
Right.
And I thought maybe I had to wait until I was rich,
More successful.
more
huh?
successful,
And more secure.
or
and-
more secure before I can
Yeah.
actually give, which I think most people in this life, that's what they're thinking.
Mhm.
Maybe when they're waiting for somebody who is richer to give to or help other people, when we really all hold the key
Mhm.
to pay it forward. So
Mhm.
when he passed away, I decided to change my business model to mirror his.
Mhm.
And it wasn't the opportune time to do that, but I said, you know what, this is my commitment. I made a decision, I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
And from every single sale, my commitment is to give back 10% of my commission
Mhm.
to a local charity of my client's choice.
Mhm.
So I involve my clients in the process. So I encourage, in giving them the key to their house, they're
Mhm.
also getting a key to pay it forward.
Correct. Correct.
So usually in the beginning of the process, it doesn't mean anything to anyone until
Right.
the very end, when they're realizing, wow, I'm actually getting the keys to my house and I'm making a huge impact.
Sure.
So even after the donation is made, my clients usually reach out to me and say, you know what, I want to continue to do this.
Nice.
And so this is what my whole business is about.
Mhm.
It's about inspiring people
Mhm.
to actually realize that we rise by lifting others.
Mhm.
Yes.
Exactly. No, it's a blessing. It
And
really is a
it's a blessing. Not only that, that's one of the reasons that I was so this attracted to Jamie, because of her giving spirit.
Mhm.
And she's just a beautiful person inside and out, and
Mhm.
it just it radiates,
Sure.
because anytime that you give, you can expect your life to be filled with blessings. I
Mhm.
mean, and like she said, I'm touching on, you don't have to have a whole lot to give.
Right.
You really don't, and people don't understand that. And um, I am a giver, and I rather give than receive. And that's how, and speaking, we had another thing in common, because my dad was the same way. He
Mhm.
was a big giver, and his life was filled with blessings. And
Mhm.
I don't know, I think it was just in me. I've been a giver since I was a little girl, and it always made me happy by giving back. And I always tell you, sis, regardless of the tragedies and everything that I have endured, I still want to give. I want to give. I want to help, and I think that's just what God has, have me here for. And I seen the same thing in Jamie. I mean, she just, you know, it's like week after week, it was like, okay, she's selling another house. She's giving to another cause.
Mhm.
And it's like almost every week she is giving, and she's paying it forward. And that just, this is another question I have, in which we already touched on, the person that had the most influence of you, which was your dad, right?
Yes,
Into
definitely
giving.
my dad.
Yeah. So, how do you make your nonprofit cause and decision when your client tell you, well, I don't know. How do I go about, choosing? Because this is sometimes it's fairly new to them.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you make that decision?
So usually when I have a client
Mhm.
and they have no idea,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually the perfect opportunity to educate people
Mhm.
on what there is out there.
Right.
And
Okay.
probably 90% of my clients have no idea what's out there.
Right.
So I'm actually encouraged when they say they don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
So I've given to several great foundations here in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I give them a list and I tell them about the different foundations. Plus I always reach out to my Facebook community to get feedback to say, hey, even though I know of these and I've impacted other foundations,
Mhm.
tell me about ones that you know about, which
Correct.
encourages people on Facebook to also think as well.
Right.
And then I get the entire list and we go through this with my clients, and this is where after the fact
Mm-hmm.
they see that yes, they made a donation to one,
Mm-hmm.
but then they're like, I want to give to something else too.
Mm-hmm.
So it benefits even when they
Correct.
don't know, it helps.
Right. And you're teaching them to be philanthropists.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
which some people don't take the time to even think about. They're so busy thinking about themselves and, what they're going to do for the next day, making sure they have their rent or their mortgage. And so they don't stop long enough to understand that there's people that are worse off than them, or organizations that are trying to do really good things in the community. And they should have a passion of some sort, but they haven't had a chance to talk to someone to find out what it is they're really passionate. I love animals, so I
She
give
does.
to to Humane Society and things like that. So there's things that they probably don't even realize and think about, but once you bring that subject up, then they start thinking, okay, well, you know what? I like children.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give to children that are homeless or something, or the Polinsky Center that are kids that are away from their parents, or whatever it is, or St. Joe, Father Joe's, or whatever it might be, but they start thinking about the different things and how they can make an impact. So that's, that alone is big, even without
It really
putting the
is.
money forward.
Right.
It's just having them think about it and planting that seed, and that's really important. So,
No, so
Kudos to you.
Thank
her what she does, her work in real estate and giving back, it speaks huge volumes on who she is as a person and her character. So it just goes, it's just really big, and I just want to say thank you. For paying it forward, just paving it forward and moving it forward and educating the community and the people that you come in contact with.
all right. I think
Thank
that's
you.
important.
Yes.
I know we have a couple minutes before our first break, but I'm more curious about your son. How old is your son?
He is 11 years old.
11?
Yes.
Okay, so he's been here his entire life.
Yes,
then.
he was
Okay.
born here.
Born, so no wonder you have to like San Diego. This is his home base. That's all
Right.
he knows, right? But you do take him home to Jamaica when you go,
Yes.
so he knows family there.
He knows everyone there. He climbs the trees. He's
Okay.
Jamaican when he's
All
there.
right. Enjoy. He needs to know his roots, though. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so important. And I won't say that. That's more about me. It's like, but you cannot, when you're raised with foundation that's based in a third world country, you look at things completely different. So
Right.
what people in the United States of America and other countries may think is a big deal, for a third world country, it's just not even that important. Where it's all about just relationships and things like that, and things that people get all stressed out about is like, what is the big deal?
Right.
So people may not understand what I'm speaking about, but they need to have a laid back, everything is cool, man type of
Right,
thing, because
exactly.
it is not that serious, and people get all worked up for little things. So I'm glad that you bring your son down there so he can have an understanding that life is not all chaotic and stressful like it is in the United States of America, that there is a cooling out period, that you can actually just enjoy life and people and not have to worry about, little things. So good for him. And then he gets to meet his cousins and things like that too.
Right.
So, so what we'll end up doing is we will pick up. We're going to go ahead and take a break now. We'll pick up. So far we're diving into it, but we'll really
Dive
dig
in
a little bit deeper.
Because I do want to bring your son into more into the conversation, because I know that he is a big part of your life. So
Yeah. So
we'll
I think
talk
we'll go
about
ahead
that.
and take our break. So you're listening to the Many Shades of Pink and Black Health radio program on kbokradio.com, and we'll be right back. Actually, I think we have a little time, so I see our engineer giving me the thumbs up. But we don't want to take our break early, and I appreciate the people on Facebook Live and everything that were good. So we'll be right back after this break.
I'm a breast cancer survivor.
We are honoring our heroes.
I'm here today because of Susan G. Coleman's free mammogram.
We are pledging to save lives.
We're passionate about bringing the services out to the community.
We are providing free mammograms. We are providing hope.
We are more than pink.
Made possible by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Welcome back to the Many Shades of Pink and Black Health radio program on KBOKradio.com, sponsored by Many Shades of Pink. I'm your host, breast cancer survivor and advocate.
What's your name?
Wendy.
That's my sis Wendy down there. And I'm Dr. Susanna Flalo. Our special guest today is Ms. Jaime Z. Harris, a philanthropic realtor. And as we stated earlier, our topic today is how giving can turn into blessings. So we really had an opportunity to dive into that earlier. And I'm, just really excited about what you've been doing for the last 4 years with your business and your calling and your blessing, and how many lives you have blessed along the way by selling homes and giving back to organizations that they're passionate about. I'm just curious about what types of organizations have you actually given to on behalf of your clients?
I have given, I think, to over 35 different foundations in San Diego.
Okay.
So wow, that's big. That's huge.
Yeah, I'm curious. Give me some names. Give me an idea.
So definitely when
she has
Circle of Promise.
Yes.
Susan G. Coleman.
Yes.
I've given back to Promises to Kids, Make-A-Wish Foundation, Wounded Warrior Project, Collective Access, Alliance Jiu-Jitsu Foundation.
Ronald
McDonald House of Charities. Yes, I just did a big campaign for them.
So just across the spectrum, huh?
Yeah, it definitely covers all boundaries because the clients that I work with, which are very dear to my heart, I definitely believe that they're sent to me. They all have something that has affected them, either them or somebody else in their family. So when they do get to thinking about it, there's something that really, really impacts them. And so maybe they never thought that giving back to that foundation would help. Right. But after thinking about it, realizing that a foundation probably helped to them or somebody else in their family, then they want to give. And then they continue to give.
Yes. Yeah,
right.
So you just sparked that fire and they just go, which is awesome and then look how you end up blessing their life, not only by that experience, but also because now they're feeling blessed every time they give in whatever form and fashion they can, whether it be to go and volunteer at that organization and give of their time if they may not have the resources. But time is valuable.
Right.
And giving of your heart, that actually, speaks just as loudly because, money can certainly allow these organizations to put resources into other people's hands and bless them, like Susan G. Coleman's things with all the programs for gift cards for gas and that sort of thing, or paying a month of rent or whatever. Right. But also giving enough time volunteering so that you have interaction with people, and that alone, just having that human contact, is blessing people also.
Right.
So it takes all all shapes and sizes in terms of how you give and when you give.
Right.
So that's good. So does your son know much about what's going on at 11 years of age, what you're actually doing and the impact it has on the people that you come in contact with?
He does, because each foundation that I give to, I tell him about the foundations.
Okay.
And now that he has his own little business.
Tell us about that.
I saw that where which one did he decide on?
So he decided to do dog walking. So he does dog walking in the community of Carmel Valley, which is where we live. And 10% of what he makes goes back to his foundation, which he chose Helen Woodworth and the San Diego Humane Society, because he loves animals. Just like you.
Exactly.
Right. So he already has a giving heart.
Yes.
And it's not something I had to force him to do. When I
No.
mentioned him wanting his own business, because he likes money.
Yes.
So he wanted his own business, and we broke down taxes and everything else. And he's like, well, what about giving back? And I was just thinking, that's the best blessing I could ever hear.
Exactly.
He wanted to
Yes.
give back
Exactly.
too. I didn't have to force it in him. He wanted to do
That
it.
is that is
Yeah.
that is so awesome. So my question is, what's the largest impact you've had in giving to a certain cause?
Sounds like an essay question.
Right.
That's a tough one.
Because each cause benefits people differently or benefits the community differently. It's for me, giving is almost like healing.
Okay.
It helps me a whole lot. Like
Okay.
so with each gift, the first time I probably went to Circle of Promise.
Mm-hmm.
I probably cried.
Yes,
I
you
cried.
did.
I cried every single.
Every time she comes, she cries. When she she has to wipe her eyes. When we take our picture for the big check, and she just, like I said, she has a heart that she has a giving soul, and so when you have a giving soul, you are much sensitive to things, and this is what she represents. She has that giving soul and giving heart. So, and when I told her about the Circle of Promise and everything that we do, she just tear up, and at the time, she didn't know that I was a breast cancer survivor.
Right.
So I gave her a little bit of my journey with breast cancer. But how I came in contact with Jamie is through another survivor that actually bought. She went through Jamie, and Jamie helped her find her home,
Okay.
her first home, and I have to say that this was an act of God. God sent Cherie to Jamie because Cherie had been out of work for a long time, and I'm like, how did she secure a loan? That wasn't nobody but God. Because normally they be like, no, you just came back. You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
It's like
employed and you haven't been employed
you're
for a
not
while.
stable. And let me tell you, that was God. So it was God that Cherie got that loan, got the house, and she came in contact with Jamie, and then from that, she asked Cherie, well, who would you like? What cause would you like to donate to? And so Cherie said, well, I want to give back to the Circle of Promise.
Okay.
And so that's how Jamie, she
Okay.
tracked me down. I was busy, doing everything. And she was like, look, when can we meet so I could give you this check? I'm like, wow, she tracking me down to give me money.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to have her chasing you around.
Right.
We need that money for our community events.
Exactly. No, but I mean, like I said, when I met her, she was a breath of fresh air, and very rarely do you meet people today that have giving hearts and giving souls.
Yeah.
And so she's a special gem, a rarity. And I just thank you. And we're gonna dive that, because you'll make me. Every time I talk to her, me and her both have tears in our eyes.
Those are good tears. Those are emotional, touching tears.
They really are. So let me ask you, what has been your best giving experience? If all of them, I mean, something that just really like touched your heart, just just had just that really big, huge impact when you gave.
Wow.
I'm always coming up with all kinds of stuff.
That was heavy question.
Some heavy
Right.
questions.
I don't know if it's because I cry so much
Right.
or everything just meant so much to me,
Yeah.
especially because I meet the people who are impacted.
Yes, that's true.
I meet the people, so it's not just like I'm giving money and just walking away. It's I'm seeing the lives that are being changed,
Yeah.
and I'm getting like letters, thank you from the people, and I'm thinking, little me,
Them making this big old difference.
making a difference. And so that's why I encourage everyone else, like, it doesn't matter how small it is, everything makes an impact.
Yes, I have to
Exactly.
agree.
Exactly.
So sorry to not answer the question regarding what foundation, but it's just like all these foundations in San Diego, they're dynamic and they really have a heart and they really want to help, and it takes all of us.
It does. It really does. So, can you define success for me?
Yes. For me, success is not about the money. Yes, it's great to make lots of money, but if you're not impacting others around you, then it's not true success.
All right.
You money doesn't bring about happiness. It helps to give options for happiness, but you can't take that with you. You have to help other people along the way. In
Right.
Jamaica, like we always say, there is no man is an island. No man stands alone. Like we all need each other.
Right.
So success is impacting other people's lives.
Yeah, that's true.
Great, great answer.
And it's true. I mean, truly, I mean, money is just a means of making sure that you're stable and not stressed, but relationship is really what it's all about. God put us on this earth to have relationship with each other.
Exactly.
So that we can impact each other on a certain level. So you bring so much to the table in terms of offering to other people. Yes, the finances help them in one way, but they're really more blessed by your relationship that you've made with them.
Yes.
And that's why you cry when you have that, because you know how important it is not only to see the impact, but now you've built a relationship with someone that is more long lasting. The money will go in no time.
Right.
Okay.
It sure will.
There's always a need for money.
Yeah.
But the relationship is what's going to last forever. And when you turn that on, and then now someone else goes on and pays it forward in one regard, yeah, the money is there. That's great. But it's the relationship that's more important. When you can touch someone's life and make an impact and smile or cry with them or whatever it is, to me that's more important.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people in our world that have a ton of money that are miserable,
Oh,
okay,
yes.
unhappy,
They are.
they have all kind of stress in their life, and you would think that money would help them. No, absolutely not. But the people that have relationship, that's really what's important. That you cannot put a price tag on that. So bless you for blessing other people with relationship. You know, you can throw the check, but if you get to meet someone and then you now see the impact on it, that's really why your heart warms and you have the tears, is because of that. So I value relationship a whole lot more than money, okay? At any point, because God's got your back, so He's going to make sure you continue to be
and
blessed.
people have to understand that, you know, I always say that, just like when I give, you know, even though when someone wants to loan, you know, you know, lend someone some money and they choose not to give it back, it's like, that's fine.
You're still going to get your blessing.
I'm still going to get my blessing.
Because you gave it with the right heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, I don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And they always say that when you loan, you really, if you don't have it to loan or to give,
then don't bother.
Don't even bother
yeah.
to even give it,
You
you
know.
know. So you just is like, you know, that's fine, you know. I may think twice again before I let you borrow any more money.
Oh, yeah, no. You have to be smart about it. Hold on now. You have to be smart about it. You cannot continue to make the same mistakes. So
Right.
if you trust someone that, you know, yes, they ask for a loan and you give it to them and they don't hold to their word that
Right.
they're going to pay you back, then obviously you need to learn from that. It doesn't mean you need to lock out everybody, because there's someone else that does need it and will pay you back.
Yeah.
But that particular person has shown their true colors, and so what you have to do is just, you know, the next time they just have to go dip into somebody else's pocket.
And not keep on
You know.
trying to dip in mine.
Yeah, and not only that, but those are the ones that dip in everybody's pocket and
Right,
know the
right.
whole world.
Exactly.
Something. And then you all of a sudden you talk to someone that, well, yeah, she knows me too, and oh yeah, she knows me too. And before you know it, that same person knows about 12 people. It's like, okay, well you got me once, but you're not getting me a second time, you know.
So if you could volunteer like full time, what would you do?
If I could volunteer
Yeah, for full time.
full time.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna make it part time because you got a business to run, right?
No, I'm just
but
saying that. Just
where's
say
her
for
heart
instance, like where's her heart, like you
for
know,
volunteering?
for volunteering.
I would probably volunteer to various foundations. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be just one, because I see the need. I see the need. Like even after I give, it's great. But like you said, the money goes away so quickly,
It does.
and people don't only need money; they need the time too. So all the foundations that I've been fortunate to make a donation to, I see where the money goes. I see the need there. So eventually, long term, when I need my bodyguard and I'm famous, I'm just joking. I would actually, I wouldn't mind actually having my own foundation that actually just gives to different foundations continuously and have people that is willing to give up their time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is, yeah, when you have like a truly a giving spirit, that is like a goal for a lot of people, that when they create a foundation, they just want to give. I mean, there's so much that I want to do, but I had to answer to God's assignment, what he wants me to do. And a lot of times, you just don't understand your purpose, but he's like, sometimes you don't have to understand it, just do what,
be obedient.
Be obedient, and allow me to guide you. And so when we're doing our work, Dr. Follow and I, it's truly, what God wants us to do, because it can be very, very stressful. We're constantly like attacked, under attack, full time, to where I think probably maybe just an average person would just probably give up, but we're not, because we always continue to move forward, because we know that this is our assignment,
Right.
and we have to stay true to it.
I give people an example, and whoever's heard me before tell this story, because I've told the last two. I consider myself now one of the whack-a-mole. When the haters are hitting on me and I pop up somewhere else, they're hitting on me, I pop up, and everyone is like, why? They've done so much to me. It's like, why does she keep popping up? And why won't she go away? It's like, y'all out there in San Diego, the reason why I'm not going away is because I'm called to God to do this. So you might as well just stop bothering me, because I'm gonna keep popping up like a whack-a-mole.
I love it.
So,
Okay.
I'm not on this journey for me. If it was, I don't need this drama.
Exactly.
Stress and haters and blockers and all that. But no, I'm here on assignment, as Wendy said, and so I'm going to continue to pop up. When you knock me down over here, I'm going to pop up over here, and I'm going to still be smiling. I'm going to have my tender heart. You can't change me. You can't harden my heart. And so you're going to end up getting tired of trying to whack me down, and you're going to have to quit, because I'm not a quitter.
Exactly.
I love the analogy. I'm definitely going to apply that to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because it is like, in any time that you're on assignment from God, it's like failure is not an option. It's not even in the vocabulary, so you can just give it up. So you think that we're going to fail. We're not.
Go on somebody else. Somebody that you can be successful on.
Right.
Haters. And you know who I'm talking about, too.
Exactly.
You know who you are.
Right. You know who you are. And, we're going to just keep on moving forward, and we're going to get better, and we're going to even get greater, because, again, this is our assignment from God.
Yeah.
We're not here just doing this. A lot of times we're working so many hours. People think that we're getting paid, and we're not.
Right.
And we're doing it because we want to service the underserved community, and anyone else that actually, needs help. And this is where our heart is, and we're not going to get discouraged, and we're not going anywhere.
Absolutely not. So, Jamie, because you are involved with, or at least getting to know a lot of these organizations that you're blessing, is there an opportunity for for you to link up those organizations with other organizations so they can bless each other? In other words, collaborative work amongst the organizations that you're coming in contact with?
I've actually had that happen, where X Foundation needed
Y.
And as I said, I'm like, well, this is perfect. I'm like, I know exactly who can help you.
Yes.
And I've had other foundations that actually donate to other foundations.
Yes.
So it's just a blessing.
That's
like
good.
Wendy did to the campaign that I had.
I've actually done 2 of them. Every time I see you have something,
she's always donating,
I
donate. It really warms my heart to know that even though her foundation needs money, she looks at another foundation to actually bless them as well.
Yes.
And so it even motivates me even more to work harder to close more deals to ensure that her foundation gets the money they
Continue
need.
getting blessed.
Yeah.
Right.
And so understand that your purpose is one thing, but understand how God is working through you, how you're connecting the dots. So
Yeah.
you're not just out there selling a house and
Nope.
blessing someone. You're actually learning these organizations that you might not have known before by people suggesting, hey, you know, I just bought a house from you, but I want you to bless X, Y, and Z. And now you're understanding, okay, the bigger picture
Right.
is that, oh, this one needs that, and I now know about this, and you're connecting dots, so you're a conduit, and understand that your purpose is bigger than just what you think it is.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So step into that. And I don't know if
I
you're
like
like me,
that.
but I'm a little afraid when I have to step out on the limb, not understanding where I'm supposed to go. But when you do, you grow from that.
Right.
You do. You
You
really,
know,
you
so-
actually really do. And there was one organization where I had never heard of, where it was it helping wounded soldiers?
The Wounded Warriors.
Was that the foundation? It was from one of your clients. He had suggested. I don't know if he was VA or
Oh, right. He was VA.
right.
Right.
And I had never heard of that foundation, in which I read about it from you, having it up, that you were giving to this particular nonprofit organization, and when I read it, I was just like, oh yeah, I have to give to this nonprofit, because what they were doing, and it was just amazing. And I think that we owe it to our veterans. We really
Yes,
do. I
yes.
think that they are the underserved,
Yes.
and anything that can help them. I'm always constantly thinking of ways how can they create more programs, and have more nonprofits for them, because I only think that they have like a few out there.
That's true. They only have
Yeah.
a few, and we have a large epidemic of PTSD.
Yes.
And right now, the only thing that they're doing regarding the PTSD problem is actually to put them on medication.
Medication.
Not saying that they shouldn't take their medication or whatever
Right.
it is. And the same, in addition to the medication, there's alternate ways of actually dealing with the PTSD, so we can reduce the amount of suicide resulting from PTSD, and also the homeless population, because these are the people that served us.
Exactly.
These are the reason why we have the freedom we have.
Right.
And after they're finished and they're back, they have all these issues, and they get out and they're just basically left.
Yes.
So, well,
In the cold.
they are, and that right there, that saddens me, because it's like, we're finished with you. You're not. We don't need you anymore. So you're no good.
Use it up, huh?
Yeah, and it just, and that's our population in San Diego. A lot of our homeless are veterans.
Yes.
And then when you find out that they're veterans and they're on the streets, that just, I tell you, don't get me started on that.
Yeah. I do know that they do have a few programs that I'm not sure if they're here or somewhere else, but they're trying to hook veterans that have PTSD and some other issues with animals, like
Yes,
a dog, which
they
I,
have
of
that
course,
here.
because
Yeah.
it warms my heart, especially dogs or any kind of animal, but they hook them up with dogs that are also rejected, that are in the shelters or whatever, or maybe a pit bull that everyone thinks has a negative stigma.
Yeah.
And they do that, and the love that they get from the animals, and the love that they can now start learning how to do, because it's hard when they come back. Some of them are really traumatically hurt, and it's hard for them to even matriculate back into their families.
Right.
The wives are afraid, the children, they have outbursts and anger things and issues that it's hard for them to settle back into the house, and so they do find themselves homeless sometimes. And so by getting them to these programs so that they learn how to calm, the dogs calm them when they're feeling agitated or angry, and how they can train them themselves. To me, that's probably the biggest thing for me. And if they can do more of that, and both of them benefit because they're both been tossed away,
Right.
and now they find a relationship and they can love on each other, and then it helps to calm the veterans down, So they need to do any kind of program that's going to help that. and feed back into them and make them feel good about who they are, and the fact
Right.
that they're still worthy of our love and our attention is so important. So I know of a few programs, but we need to get more of them, be more creative on how we can, feed back and pour back into our veterans' lives.
Totally
Yes.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm still trying to figure out what I can do for our veterans here in San Diego. San Diego is a military city, and we tend to have I don't know the actual statistics of our homeless population, but I know that it has grown.
It's close to 10,000.
It's 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know the percentage of how many are veterans, but I'm sure it's a huge percentage.
Right.
I do know of one other. As you were speaking, we have to do a shout out to Floyd
Okay.
because he does his music ministry,
Right.
music therapy for the
Music
veterans.
for the
Yeah.
veterans.
What's
Yeah.
that called?
I think it's called music therapy. I think it's what
It's for-
music therapy for the veterans or
For
something
the
like that. Yeah.
basically, he feel like music
Yeah.
is the therapy to kind of help cure
Yeah.
the veterans, and so this is a shout out to Floyd Smith, A.
Mhm.
Smith,
Mm-hmm.
that he came up with this idea, and this is something that he is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too much about it, but I do know that he has created this foundation
That's awesome.
in
Yeah.
order to try to help the veterans
Mhm. Mhm.
through music.
Yeah,
That's
and music
good.
is his
It's his
passion,
passion.
his gift.
Right.
So there are some people trying to be creative, and so we have not forgotten about our veterans. It's just not enough of us doing.
Yeah.
But keep that in mind. And so there's so much to do in this city.
It
Oh my
really
God.
is.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it
much.
is, and then it's like your mind just work overtime on how can you give back, not just with money,
Mhm.
time, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, creative in
And
terms of developing maybe some programs
Program, right?
that can help populations
Right.
that need it.
Right.
Children and adults who are
Adults.
struggling, veterans. I mean, there's the list is, you could actually be overwhelmed by just thinking about all the need.
Need.
Right. Hence why I couldn't answer the question of
Mhm.
which foundation would I
Yes.
give most of the money to or the time,
Mhm.
because seeing all the need.
I know. So, well, do you have two, top 3 nonprofits?
I can't actually
Yeah.
disclose that
So
because
you like all of them.
I like all of them, and I give my clients who don't know of a foundation the entire list,
Mhm.
and I emphasize each one the same way so that they can actually
Make a
choose
decision for
and
You
not-
can
themselves.
make the decision.
so it's not just me influencing anyone to
Yes.
choose one.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. And as you start learning about the different organizations, you just continue to add on to your list
Yes.
of resources for them to choose from.
Yeah,
So
because
that's actually good.
there is a lot, and I have to say that Facebook is Facebook has added. Remember, I told you, I said take your fund from what is it, the other
Oh right, I had
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe and now moved
Right.
it over to Facebook.
move it over to Facebook, because Facebook does not charge any fees now for any nonprofit good cause.
Okay.
And it's a part of the social good forum, which I had the pleasure of going, and it was amazing. And they have all these wonderful things that they're offering for the social good cause. So,
Okay.
and
I just had someone just helped us with the title of
Oh,
Floyd
Floyd
Smith's thing,
Smith,
and it's
what is it?
music therapy for vets.
okay, so
Yeah.
music therapy for vets.
Yeah.
Okay, we have
Yeah.
to remember that.
Yeah.
And because I'm going to donate to
Mhm.
that.
As well.
Yeah, to that one as well, because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it's just not enough charities out here or nonprofits that's going to help the veterans. And I would like for you also to explain to our audience what is the difference between a charity and a nonprofit good cause organization, where you know where the money is going. Because there's a lot of people, I'm not giving to this place because they're not giving back, they're not doing this. So how do you go about tackling that and just explain that to our audience, because there's a lot of negativity out there about giving to certain charities.
Okay. And so part of the charity list that I have, and part of the charities I do give to, I do my research as well.
Okay.
So I want to ensure that the monies that I'm donating or collecting from, even like my Facebook friends, or followers, that is actually going to a good cause.
Right.
And majority of the ones that I've given to, probably over 80% of the money that is donated actually goes to the cause.
Okay.
So yes, there are foundations out there that majority of the money may not go. So everyone should do their research, and if you have additional questions, you can reach out to any one of us. You can reach out to me to find out if it's actually going to a good cause. But probably 90% of the foundations here in San Diego, they're legitimately providing the service to what you're donating to.
Right, and so they can feel more comfortable knowing that the funding is not going to administrative things where you're paying a secretary or something. I understand the value of that, but that's that's some other things. But when have your hard-earned money and you want it to go to the actual purpose of why you're donating, you don't want it to be, okay, I'm going to buy a desk here and I'm going to pay the secretary, $1 extra. No, you want it to go, you know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a whole breakdown of administrative costs and this and this and that, and then you get about 2% going to the actual cause of it. And so that's why people don't like to donate.
Right.
Once you find out the reverse, where the majority of the money is actually going to the cause and a little bit of it's the upkeep, the organization, that makes more sense.
Right, and the people who are running the organization,
Yes.
who work tirelessly, yes, they should get paid. So
Yes.
I'm okay if not all the funds go to the actual cause, because these people actually are sacrificing a lot of their time. They're probably working more than the 8 hours.
Well, they are, not only
Right.
that, but if you didn't have the staff, then you wouldn't be able to do the work. Or
Right.
You wouldn't be able to have the organization.
Yeah, we're just not trying to pay the CEOs of these large organizations.
Right.
Okay, that's what I'm trying
Right.
to say.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you have these large so-called charitable organizations, and you find out later that most of it's going to,
Trips.
yeah, things like that. So you don't want to, and that's why people don't like. Once you hear about that, once it's unveiled, right?
Yeah.
Then you find out, oh my God, I've been spending my little couple $100s here and there, and they're taking trips on it, they're doing that, or they're having conferences over at Del Bar or somebody's suites or something, or spa things, and the money did not go. 2% of it goes to whatever the cause was. You really want to make sure that you know that when you do donate your money, because your heart is saying, I want to do for this person, but if the money's not getting there, then you're turned off from actually donating to the organization. So it's good you do your research and know that at least a good chunk of it, at least more than 50%, is going to the actual cause. And then, of course, the infrastructure to make it work. But if it's truly a non-profit or something, then you know that most of the people there are donating their time and not even getting paid, for some of them. So it makes sense,
I do want to add something. So if someone has actually already given money to one of those foundations where majority does not actually go to the cause, I don't want people to feel jaded because of that, because you gave from a good place, you gave from your heart, which means that what comes back to you is tenfold. So you're going to be blessed because of your giving. So now that you're educated on the cause, maybe you don't give that anymore, but give something else, because the universe, God, they see everything, and you may not get back in the same amount or same kind, but you get it back in other ways. So don't ever feel bad about giving.
Yeah, it's not the giving, it's just that if you do the research, like you said, and hopefully if you have your list, then you see that you've done your research, but if someone actually donates to a cause that you haven't done your research on, but that's what they wanted, and you find out that is something that the majority goes to something that you don't necessarily believe in other words, that's going to the structure and not to the cause, then would you take that thing off your list?
Yes, actually, I have given to a foundation before. This is earlier before I actually did all my research, where majority actually goes to the infrastructure.
Yes.
And so now clients will say, well, you've given to them before, can you give to them again? I say, hey, I prefer not to. I understand it's definitely 100% your choice, but here is where the money is really going. So you still have 100% decision in where the money goes to, but here are your alternatives to similar foundations where the money actually goes towards a cause. And usually after educating people, you're like, you know what, I had no idea. I prefer this cause.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's good. Well, you know what, we can probably I mean, this has been such an enlightening
It
conversation,
has. It
and hopefully
really-
the audience has learned just the true gift of giving
Yes.
and how you do get blessed. And you may not get it with monies coming back to you, but your health, your
Health,
happiness,
everything.
your peace of mind, you know, just life going well is really what they're going to get from that. So Jamie, I want to say a special thank you for coming on board. It's very
Thank
nice
you.
meeting you, my sister, and you know, from Jamaica. I enjoy that, the connection already like that, but it's truly been a blessing. And then, you know, we want to make a few announcements too. So.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
I want to say thank you, and thank you so much for taking your time and being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
So we just have two announcements. Obviously, our monthly community outreach event, which is held at the Big Lots parking lot every third Wednesday of the month. We're there from 10 to 6, and there's all kinds of resources out there. Yesterday's event was just tremendous. I'm sure we served
Yes.
over 100 people. And we gave out, you know, we had new vendors there. So
Yes,
we had
we did.
dental screening.
Mhm.
We had you know, we had free, we call them Obama phones, but free phones for
Yes.
the, you know, people that qualify.
For the phones.
We
That
also
was
had
exciting.
another vendor for phones that were for the disabled, meaning if you're hard of hearing or vision was impaired, things like that, that they had the larger phones with big buttons and, you know, that flash and things like that. Just lots of new vendors there,
Yes.
which was amazing. But food distribution was fun, fruits and veggies.
I got my fruit and vegetables.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a great experience. The Lord is just, you know, starting this year off with a big bang, and so I so appreciate it. We're still working on other vendors. Obviously, vision screening is
It's one of our top
Yeah.
that we really need. So if anybody that's listening out there, and if you can actually hook us up with someone that could provide the vision screening, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated.
Yeah. And so our next event is February 21st. We'll be keeping you in touch with that.
And it's from 10 to 6.
Yeah.
And the mammograms is from 12 to 6.
Correct.
And we have another event, and it's so exciting. I'm so excited because, oh my God, it's my very first fashion show. So join Susan G. Coleman, Circle of Promise for the free fashion show and breast health luncheon. It's February 24th from 10:30 to 2, and it's at AMN Healthcare, 12400 High Bluff Drive, not San Diego, California, 92130. That's in your area. And it's fashions from stylist Candy Macon, and she's the owner of the Cotton Candy and Company. Tanya Jenkins is the designer and owner of the, I'm not even going to begin to say that because I'm going to chop it up.
Yeah, Shay.
It's a Naya Shay, and the MC is my girl and my survivor sister, Stevie Flowers. And music sensations is the harpist, Maria Antoinette, and Ken Turner, and our own famous Dr. Susanna Afalo will discuss how breast cancer affects African American women, and Deborah Gibson Portee will discuss fitness and health. And did I mention that this is a fire hot event that you do not want to miss? And did I mention it's free with lunch?
Wow.
And we'll certainly be telling people, you know,
Yes.
reminding them each and every time we have our radio station. So we need to close out, sis.
Okay, so you have been listening to the Many Shades of Pink and Black Health radio program on KBOK Radio, sponsored by Many Shades of Pink. I'm your host, Wendy Sherrill, breast cancer survivor and advocate.
And I'm your co-host, Dr. Susanna Flalo, and it's been a pleasure speaking with Jaime Z. Harris today, a philanthropic realtor. We did speak about how giving can turn into blessings. So thank you so much, and we will see you next week.
Yes.